Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to humbly bring to your attention of something that happened in KICC during the swearing-in ceremony of the Deputy President Abraham Kithure Kindiki. When Abraham had been sworn in and he had signed all the documents, he gave a speech where he promised to be very loyal to the president, and then he invited the president to make his keynote speech. Now, during that moment, there was a lot of jubilation and noise. But at the background, there were some people who were singing, and they were singing in their vernacular, and they were singing in the Luo language. They were singing a popular political song. And this song is always dedicated to none other than Raila Amolo Odinga. This song, as you will listen to it at the background, is entitled Onge Ngama Baba Usenego. Simply translated means that Raila, who is the Baba here, that Raila has never killed anyone. Before I play for you that song, you know that politics is about perception. And sometimes the perception could even be wrong, but once people, take you in a particular manner and they stereotype you, or that is how you are known in the field of politics, it goes around that that is you. For example, some people call Raila Amolo Odinga a perennial loser. Well, we know that his votes, have always been rigged from 2007, 2013, 2017, 2022, and all that. Now, some of these stereotypes are so shameful. For example, there are certain politicians in this country that have always been taken to be corrupt, or they are thieves. Others are being associated with land grabbing. Others are being associated with killings and murder. Sometimes it's difficult to prove, even if you are caught and told, can we go, they take you to a court of justice and you are now told, can you explain why you are saying that Honorable so and so is a murderer or is a thief? You cannot explain. But that is how they have been known in the field of politics. So many people, from where Raila comes from, his supporters believe that Raila does not sometimes go head on to take power. He can take people to the streets, but when he's about to reach the promised land, he retreats. But if there is one thing that all the supporters of Raila believe, is that Raila is not a murderer. You cannot associate Raila with any murder or any killing. So that song, Onge Ngama Baba Usenego, is always associated, and they only sing it to Baba. Or they sing it to someone who has been sanitized by Baba. Now, as William Ruto was making his speech, they were now singing Onge Ngama Ruto Usenego, meaning William Ruto has never killed anyone. It is this song at that moment that will be the foundation of my analysis, and I want you to listen to this.
Mbili, tatu, ingine.
You had to listen very carefully and pay close attention, because the song was engulfed in the noise and jubilation as William Ruto was preparing to give his speech. Now, you would be asking, why am I concerned about just a song? The reason why I'm concerned is this, ladies and gentlemen. A few years ago, the very, very people who are singing seems or look to be Raila supporters. A few years ago, these very people accused William Ruto of butchering, murdering, torturing, and maiming them, and even killing many of them during the Azimio demonstrations. And we saw videos of some of them who are being retrieved live from their houses in Kisumu, and they were tortured in broad daylight. and they demanded for justice. In fact, Azimio wrote a letter to ICC accusing the former Inspector General Japheth Koome and William Ruto of killing their supporters. I remember at a certain point there was some kind of mass requiem mass for youths who had been killed by police bullet, and Raila was mad, and ODM supporters, were very mad at him because the police committed atrocities that are untold. Just recently, during the Gen Z's protest, many people were killed. Youth, some of them fresh from the university, and some are missing. They've never been found. You remember this little boy in Kitengela whose body was riddled by, was it 12 bullets or something? Remember the boy who Ruto was asking whether he's still alive. And then currently, we have a lot of abductions and killings and torture. Even foreign diplomats had to weigh in, and they condemned and asked William Ruto to respect and uphold human rights and humanity. Aoko had been missing, and I understand that she was found in the border of Kenya and Tanzania. And I think the reason why she was not killed, maybe people were making noise, and the people who kidnapped her wanted to give a warning, to deliver a message. And moving forward, you will see Aoko very quiet. I don't believe she will continue the onslaught that she has always engaged in. So when these people started singing that Ruto has never killed anyone, he's the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, it baffled me, because just a few years ago, they were saying how bad William Ruto is. They were saying that William Ruto had taken the victory, and William Ruto was now killing them because of their rights to demonstrate and rights of picketing. And I wondered why the sudden change, why the change of heart. It only tells you that politics is dynamic. We are no longer talking about justice to the people, the teenagers and those who are killed. We are no longer talking about them. And that is why some people accuse this kind of marriage, that they took advantage of Gen Z's protests. Gen Z's were killed. I've never seen ODM condemning even the latest kidnappings. And to me, I felt that was wrong. Let me tell you something. I have always maintained that Raila and the Azimio have got every right to get into government. If you ask me, I could be wrong. This is my personal opinion. If anything, this was supposed to be Raila's victory. That is it. And if you think I'm lying, go and open the servers. So Raila and his people have got every reason, every right to get to government. My only problem is that they get to government and they forget about championing of people's rights. I really understand when they get to government and they are given some positions. I could also understand when they vote to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. I'm not saying it is right, but I can understand, because from the Azimio quarters and from the ODM supporters and leaders, it is on record that Gachagua warned Raila Amolo Odinga. There was a time when there was a lot of tension in the country. William Ruto was outside the country. The following day, Raila was supposed to go for, I think that was supposed to be the final demonstration or something. And Rigathi Gachagua warned, and he said he was going to do something that no one would ever, in the history of Kenya, would ever dare, would ever imagine or think of going to the streets. In fact, it forced Raila to call off the plans to go on demonstration. We mingle with the security outside here. Some of them were telling us that they were ready to deal with Raila. And I would understand if the ODM fraternity decide to impeach because of revenge. Revenge is part of politics. I would understand. But I don't understand how they have metamorphosed into other human beings, that they have forgiven William Ruto. They no longer talk about the rights. In fact, if you ask me, I thought that maybe when Raila got into government, I know justice can never be found because the police who are doing this were doing it under the auspices of the commander in chief. And so it will not be very easy for Raila to tell this, Ruto, I want this policeman to be brought to book, knowing very well that the order came from above, and the above is the person they are now in within this broad-based government. But I would even negotiate for a token of compensation because lives can never be compensated. You cannot lose your child and someone tells you, I want to give you all the money in this world. I want to give you even a trillion or 700 trillion dollars. It will not suffice or replace the life of a beloved one. That can never happen. Life, the value of life can never be compared to silver or gold or diamond. But then, as a token of, just saying Pole, I would have, thought that maybe Raila would urge William Ruto to do I even call it compensation? I don't know because you cannot compensate life, but just do something. They have forgotten. The supporters are now saying Ruto has never killed anyone. So I would ask, why were they, then accusing William Ruto of killing them during the protest? When people get into collisions, they forget a lot of things. The ODM has sanitized Adani deal. They have kicked Rigathi Gachagua. They thwarted the Gen Z's protest. And they are the people who have given William Ruto the strength, the impetus, the audacity to do whatever he wants in this government. William Ruto had been subdued. He dissolved his cabinet. Because of the support of the ODM, he resuscitated that cabinet and included the names of some of the people who Kenyans never wanted to be there. William Ruto had stopped going for local rallies and even foreign trips. Immediately he formed that government. He was on top of vehicles campaigning again. He was flying outside the country again. Wastage he had promised to stop wastage. There was some unnecessary spending into the offices of president, deputy, and of the chief minister, the offices of their spouses. All of that have been reinstated again. Why? Because of that support. And that is why I'm telling you that when I heard those people singing, it reminds me of how dynamic politics is. It reminds me how the ODM brigade, especially from the Luo land, have gotten into this government maybe because they feel it is theirs or because they wanted to punish those who they feel they have supported, like Mount Kenya, but Mount Kenya, has never reciprocated. During the Oster process, the impeachment process, their MPs took a center stage. How I wish that even as they get into the government, let them still remain strong and stand firm when anybody would want to mutilate our constitution. Some are saying that laws are being used, but they don't understand the pain they have endured when Raila's votes are being rigged every now and then. I don't know. What do you think is happening, ladies and gentlemen?